I know. So you're still there? Like you actually
Yeah,
you
yeah.
used to join the afternoon reading group of Vikrant
Yes,
ji.
that is
Okay.
only for 15 minutes reading there.
Actually, it's always 15 minutes.
Yes, always 15 minutes. So to get to the habit of the reading again, I joined that group, and through that group, I came to know, and now I am enjoying so much that it's a part of my life.
Okay, wow. I joined once and twice, but I don't know how it works, so I did
Yeah, that
not
is
like
also
it.
great for 15
But how
minutes.
do they
Just
manage completing books in 15 minutes? Like it must be going longer, na? The books may be taking longer, na?
15 minutes reading is there. After that, whatever takeaways we want to share, that is only for 5, maximum 10 minutes. Generally,
Okay.
in 20 minutes, it's over.
Okay, and then in 20 minutes you finish the book. Like how long it takes for you to
Just
finish the
on the
book?
spot, like we are in the morning, we do reading. Whoever wants to read may read. And after that, from that, maybe one paragraph, two paragraph, three paragraph, whatever is covered, just the takeaways are shared. And Vikashji shares in the AI summary in the group also.
No. I'm asking like the book, whichever they must be taking, must be going on for a longer duration, na? Then because it's just 15
Yes,
minutes of
yes.
reading.
Yes. Nowadays, SOS Shivani ji's 100 conversation, that book is going on.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so it must be like taking like 1 month, 2 months for a book, right? Like that
Yes,
way.
yes. Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Okay, chalo, let's start because it's already 11:10 and we'll start. Whenever you want to read, Sunita, can you join in for the reading? Is it possible for you? Since Suman has to leave for her daughter.
Yeah, if anybody else can start, then after that, I will be reading non-stop.
Yeah, she mentioned already that she'll be in listening mode, but I'm just asking.
I'm walking actually. It would be possible for you to read and walk.
Okay, let's start
Okay,
then.
okay. No problem. Yeah. Suman, hopefully by the time someone else will also join in. So whenever you want to leave, you let us know so someone else can take over. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
whoever is
yeah,
there, the additional person, and I'll just drop a message before that that we are started. So hopefully people, whoever wants to join will join. Just give me a moment and we'll start.
yeah, sure.
Okay, let's start. Okay. You
Yeah.
want to play the youth or the philosopher?
Any, any will do for me.
Okay. Okay then. ठीक है, चलो, I'll start with the youth. Youth, an inferiority complex is an excuse. Youth. But can you say for sure that feelings of inferiority are really a problem of interpersonal relationships? Even the kind of person who is regarded socially as a success, who doesn't need to debase himself in relationships with other people, still has come feelings of inferiority. Even the businessman who amasses enormous wealth, the peerless beauty who is the envy of all, and the Olympic gold medalist Even one of them would be plagued by feelings of inferiority. Every one of them would be plagued by feelings of inferiority. Well, that's how it seems to me. How should I think about this?
Adler recognizes that feelings of inferiority are something everyone has. There is nothing bad about feelings of inferiority themselves.
So, why do people have them in the first place?
It is probably necessary to understand this in a certain order. First of all, people people enter this world as helpless beings, and people have the universal desire to escape from that helpless state. Adler called this the pursuit of superiority.
Pursuit of superiority.
Yeah, this is something you could think of simply hoping to improve or pursuing an ideal state. For instance, a toddler learns to steady himself on both legs. He has the universal desire to learn language and to improve. And all the advancements of science throughout human history are due to this pursuit of superiority too.
Okay, and then
The counterpart of this is the feeling of inferiority. Everyone is in this condition of wanting to improve, that is, the pursuit of superiority. One holds up various ideals or goals and heads towards them. However, on not being able to reach one's ideals, one harbors a sense of being lesser. For instance, there are chefs who, the more inspired and accomplished they become, are forever beset with the sort of feeling of inferiority that makes them say to themselves, I am still not good enough, or I have got to bring my cooking to the next level, and that sort of thing.
that's true.
Adler is saying that the pursuit of superiority and the feeling of inferiority are not diseases but stimulants to normal, healthy striving and growth. If it is not used in the wrong way, the feeling of inferiority too can promote striving and growth.
The feeling of inferiority is a kind of launch pad.
That's right. One tries to get rid of one's feeling of inferiority and keep moving forward. Once one is never satisfied with one's present situation, even if it's just a single step. One wants to make progress. One wants to be happier. There is absolutely nothing wrong with the state of this kind of feeling of inferiority. There are, however, people who lose the courage to take a single step forward, who cannot accept the fact that the situation can be changed by making realistic efforts. People who, before even doing anything, simply give up and say things like, I am not good enough anyway, or even if I tried, I would not stand a chance.
Well, that's true. There's no doubt about it. If the feeling of inferiority is strong, most people will become negative and say, I'm not good enough anyway, because that's what a feeling of inferiority is.
No, that is not a feeling of inferiority. That is an inferiority complex. A
A complex? That's what the feeling of inferiority is, isn't it?
Be careful. The way the word complex is used today, it seems to have the same meaning as feeling of inferiority. You hear people saying, I have got a complex about my eyelids, or he has got a complex about his education, that sort of thing. This is an utter misuse of the term. At base, complex refers to an abnormal mental state made up of a complicated group of emotions and ideas and has nothing to do with the feeling of inferiority. For instance, there is Freud's Oedipus complex, which is used in the context of discussing the abnormal attraction of the child to the opposite sex parent.
Yes. The nuances of abnormality are especially strong when it comes to the mother complex and the father complex.
For the same reason, then, it is crucial to not mix up feeling of inferiority and inferiority complex and to think about them as clearly separate.
Concretely, how are they different?
There is nothing particularly wrong with the feeling of inferiority itself. You understand this point now, right? As Adler says, the feeling of inferiority can be a trigger for striving and growth. For instance, if one had a feeling of inferiority with regards to one's education and resolved to oneself, I am not well educated, so I will just have to try harder than anyone else. That would be a desirable direction. The inferiority complex, on the other hand, refers to a condition of having begun to use one's feeling of inferiority as a kind of excuse. So one thinks to oneself, I am not well educated, so I can't succeed, or I am not good looking, so I can't get married. When someone is insisting on the logic of A is the situation, so B cannot be done in such a way in everyday life, that is not something that fits in the feeling of inferiority category. It is an inferiority complex.
No, it's a legitimate casual relationship. If you are not well educated, it takes away your chances of getting work or making it in the world. You are regarded as low on the social scale and you can't succeed.
Yeah,
Suman?
that's two line remains. That's not an excuse at all. Uh, you left this line.
No, no. Okay, oh, sorry. That's not an excuse at all. It's just cold, hard fact, isn't it?
No, you are wrong.
Where am I wrong? Okay, okay, just a minute. Suman, you want to go? Anyone
Yeah,
else can support me in the reading or want to take up reading because Suman needs to go and take a break and come after a break. She mentioned that earlier.
I'll do
Rajesh,
that,
will you be
Mansi.
able to take? Okay, yeah, yeah. Hi, Aarti. Yeah, can
From
you
where
read?
to read?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Rajesh, is it possible for you to read the youth today? Uh, now, like, okay, then Rajesh can read. And you want to take up with him, Aarti? You both want to read? So you both can play youth and philosopher. You can take a philosopher, Aarti.
Okay, I'll do that. From where to read right now?
Right now it's you only. You can start philosopher,
Okay.
and
What
Rajesh
you're
can read the
calling
youth
a
part.
casual relationship is something that Adler explains as apparent cause and effect. That is to say, you convince yourself that there is some serious casual relationship where there is none whatsoever. The other day, someone told me, the reason I can't get married easily is that my parents got divorced when I was a child. From the viewpoint of Freud etiology, the the attributing of causes, the parents' divorce was a great trauma which connects in a clear casual relationship with one's view on marriage. Adler, however, with this stance of teleology, the attributing of purpose rejects such argument as apparent cause and effect.
Uh, but even so, the reality is the reality is that having a good education makes it easier to be successful in society. I had thought you were wise to the ways of the world.
The real issue is how one confronts that reality. If what you are thinking is, I'm not well educated, so I can't succeed, then instead of, I can't succeed, you should think, I don't want to succeed.
I don't want to succeed. What kind of listening is that?
It's simply that it's scary to take even one step forward. Also, that you don't want to make realistic efforts. You don't want to change so much that you would be willing to sacrifice the pleasure you enjoy now. For instance, the time you spend playing and in hobbies, in engaged in hobbies. In other words, you are not equipped with the courage to change your lifestyle. It's easier with things just as they are now, even if you have some complaints or limitations.
Okay, let's continue this chapter. Braggarts have feelings of inferiority. Maybe so, but
Further, you are harbor an inferiority complex about education and think, I am not well educated, so I can't succeed. Put the other way around. The reason can be, if only I were well educated, I could be really successful.
hmm, true.
This is the other aspect of the inferiority complex. Those who manifest their inferiority complexes in words or attitude, who say that A is the situation, so B cannot be done, are implying that if only it were not for A, they'd be capable and have value.
If only it weren't for this, I could do it too.
Yes, as Adler points out, no one is capable of putting up with having feelings of inferiority for a long period of time. Feeling of inferiority are something that everyone has, but staying in that condition is too heavy to endure forever.
Ah, this is getting pretty confusing.
Okay, let's go over things one at a time. The condition of having a feeling of inferiority is a condition of feeling some sort of lack in oneself in the present situation. So then the question is,
How do you feel in the part that's missing, right?
exactly, how to compensate for the part that is lacking. The healthiest way is to try to compensate through striving and growth. For instance, it could be by applying oneself to one's study, engaging in constant training, or being diligent in one's work. However, people who aren't equipped with that courage end up stepping into an inferiority complex. Again, it's thinking, I am not well educated, so I can't succeed. And that's implying your capability by saying, if only I were well educated, I could be really successful. That the real me, which just happens to be obscured right now by the matter of education, is superior.
No, that doesn't make sense. The second thing you're saying is beyond a feeling of inferiority. That's really more bra- bravado than anything else, isn't it?
Scroll up. Okay, thank you. Indeed, the inferiority complex can also develop into another special mental state.
And what's that?
I doubt you have heard much about it. It's the superiority complex.
Superiority complex?
One is suffering from strong feeling of inferiority, and on the top of that, one doesn't have the courage to compensate through healing modes of striving and growth. That being said, one can't tolerate the inferiority complex of thinking A is the situation, so B cannot be done. One can't accept one's incapable self. At that point, the person thinks of trying to compensate in some other fashion and looks for an easier way out.
What way is that?
It's to act as if one is indeed superior and to indulge in a fabricated feeling of superiority.
The fabricated feelings of superiority.
A familiar example would be giving authority.
What does that mean?
One makes a show of being and on good terms with a powerful person, broadly speaking. It could be anyone from the leader of your school class to a famous celebrity, and by doing that one lets it be known that one is special. Behaviors like mispresenting representing one's work experience or excessive elegance to particular brands of clothes are form of giving authority and probably also have aspects of the superiority complex. In each case, it isn't that the I is actually superior or special. It is only that one is making the I look superior by linking it to authority. In short, it's a fabricated feeling of superiority.
And at the base of that, there is an intense feeling of inferiority.
Of course, I don't know much about fashion, but I think it's advisable to think of people who wear rings with rubies and emeralds on all their fingers as having issues with feelings of inferiority rather than issues of aesthetic sensibility. In other words, they have signs of a superiority complex.
Right.
But those who make themselves look bigger on borrowed power are essentially living according to other people's value system. They are living other people's lives. This is a point that must be emphasized.
So, a superiority complex. That's very interesting psychology. Can you give me a different example?
There's the kind of a person who likes to boast about his achievements, someone who clings to his past glory and is always recounting memories of the time when his light shone brightest. Maybe you know some people like this. All such people can be said to have superiority complexes.
The kind of man who boasts about his achievements. Yes, it is an arrogant attitude, but he can boast because he actually is superior. You can't call that a fabricated feeling of superiority.
Ah, but you are wrong. Those who go so far as to boast about things out loud actually have no confidence in themselves. As Adler clearly indicates, the one who boasts does so only out of a feeling of inferiority.
You are saying that boasting is an inverted feelings of inferiority?
That's right. If one really has confidence in oneself, one doesn't feel the need to boast. It's because one's feeling of inferiority is strong that one boasts. One feels the need to flaunt one's superiority all the more. There is the feeling that if one doesn't do that, not a single person will accept one the way I am. This is full blown superiority complex.
So thought one would think from the sound of the words that inferiority complex and superiority complex were polar opposites. In actuality, they border on each other.
Yes, they are clearly connected. Now there is one last example I'd like to give a complex example that deals with boasting. This is a pattern leading to a particular feeling of superiority that manifests due to the feeling of inferiority itself becoming intensified. Concretely speaking, it's bragging about one's own misfortune.
Bragging about one's own misfortune.
The person who assumes a boasting manner when talking about his upbringing and the various misfortunes that have rained down upon him, if someone should try to comfort this person or suggest some change be made, he'll refuse the helping hand by saying, "You don't understand how I feel."
Well, there are people like that. But
Such people try to make themselves special by way of their experience of misfortune, and with the single fact of their misfortune try to place themselves above others. Take the fact that I'm short, for instance. Let's say that kind hearted people come up to me and say, "It's nothing to worry about," or "such things have nothing to do with human values." Now, if I were to reject them and say, "You think you know what short people go through, huh?" No one would say a thing to me anymore. I'm sure that everyone around me would start treating me just as if I were a boil about to burst and would handle me very carefully, or I should say, circumspectly.
absolutely true.
By doing that, my position becomes superior to other people's and I can become special. Quite a few people try to be special by adopting this kind of attitude when they are sick or injured or suffering the mental anguish of heartbreak.
So they reveal their feeling of inferiority and use it to their advantage.
Yes, they use this misfortune to their advantage and try to control the other party with it. By declaring how unfortunate they are and how much they have suffered, they are trying to worry the people around them, their family and friends, for example, and to restrict their speech and behavior and control them. The people I was talking about at the very beginning who shut themselves up in their room frequently indulge in feeling of superiority and use misfortune to their advantage, so much so that Adler himself pointed out, in our culture weakness can be quite strong and powerful.
So weakness is powerful.
Adler says, in fact, if we were to ask ourselves who is the strongest person in our culture, the logical answer would be the baby. The baby rules and cannot be dominated. The baby rules over the adults with his weakness, and it is because of this weakness that no one can control him. That's true, really.
I have never encountered that viewpoint.
Of course, the word of the person who has been hurt, "You don't understand how I feel," are likely to contain a certain degree of truth. Completely understanding the feelings of the person who is suffering is something that no one is capable of. But as long as one continues to use one's misfortune to one's advantage in order to be special, one will always need that misfortune. Shall I read?
Yeah, yeah, go on.
The youth and philosopher had now covered a series of discussion topics: the feeling of inferiority, the inferiority complex, and the superiority complex. Psychology keywords, though they clearly were the truths they contained, differed greatly from the youth's imagined meaning. Still, something didn't feel right to him somehow. What is it about all this that I'm having a hard time accepting? Well, it must be the introductory part, the premise that is giving me doubts. The youth calmly opened his mouth to speak.
I think it was an interesting read. Um, yeah, I was in the middle of something. Anyone want to read, or shall we continue?
Uh, we'll go on for a while and then we'll stop. Yeah. I think you both continue. No one is volunteering, I guess. You both are comfortable continuing?
Yeah, yeah,
If
I'll
anyone
continue.
wants
Continue.
to take.
I'm okay. If anyone want to read, I can give my chance.
Yeah, are you comfortable continuing or Suman
Mansi,
you
I can also do now if yeah, you want.
okay, okay. So Aarti, you want to read or you or let
I
Suman
can
read more?
continue only for 10 more minutes.
Okay, okay. Then let Suman read because I think
Okay,
we will
Suman,
stop
please
after 10.
continue.
Right,
Okay.
then
Okay. Thank you.
No, no,
go on.
Suman and you both we both read. I think next time. I think in here time is 7:40. We have not much time. You both can continue. I take leave or I will
Okay.
listen. Continue. You both
Start, na?
continue.
Uh, because it sounds good.
Yeah. Uh, uh, you want to
I think
be
Suman
youth
can
or
play as a
philosopher?
youth. Or philosopher.
Yeah, you three choose. Okay, Aarti and Suman, you go on then in that case. Yeah, go on. Both of you. One play the philosopher, one play the youth. Whoever wants to take, whatever.
Is Suman there? Suman is
Yeah,
going
yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I am here. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Want to read the youth or philosopher, Suman and Aarti?
Oh, okay. I can start with youth. No problem. Hmm. But I guess I still don't really get it.
Okay, ask me anything you like.
Adler recognizes that the pursuit of superiority, one is trying to be more superior being, is a universal desire, doesn't he? On the other hand, he is striking a note of warning with regard to excessive feelings of inferiority and superiority. It would be easy to understand if he could renounce the pursuit of superiority. Then I could accept it. What are we supposed to do?
Think about it this way. When we refer to the pursuit of superiority, there's a tendency to think of it as the desire to try to be superior to other people, to climb higher, even if it means kicking others down. You know the image of ascending a stairway and pushing people out of the way to get to the top? Adler doesn't uphold such attitudes, of course. Rather, he's saying that on the same level playing field, there are people who are moving forward and there are people who are moving forward behind them. Keep that image in mind. Though the distance covered and the speed of walking differ, everyone is walking equally in the same flat place. The pursuit of superiority is the mindset of taking a single step forward on one's own feet, not the mindset of competition of the sort that necessitates aiming to be greater than other people.
So life is not a competition?
That's right. It's enough to just keep moving in a forward direction without competing with anyone. And of course, there is no need to compare oneself with others.
No, that is impossible. We will always compare ourselves to other people, no matter what. That is exactly where our feeling of inferiority comes from, isn't it?
A healthy feeling of inferiority is not something that comes from comparing oneself to others, it comes from one's comparison with one's ideal self.
But
Look, all of us are different gender, age, knowledge, experience, appearance. No two of us are exactly the same. Let's acknowledge in a positive manner that the fact that other people are different from us and that we are not the same, but we are equal.
we are not the same. But are we equal?
That's right. Everyone is different. Don't mix up that difference with good or and bad and superior and inferior. Whatever differences we may have, we are all equal.
No distinction of rank for people. Idealistically speaking, I suppose so. But aren't we trying to have an honest discussion about reality now? Would you really say, for instance, that I, an adult, and a child who is still struggling with his arithmetic are equal?
In terms of the amount of knowledge and experience, and then the amount of responsibility that can be taken, there are bound to be differences. The child might not be able to tie his shoes properly, or figure out complicated mathematical equations, or be able to take the same degree of responsibility as an adult when problems arise. However, such things shouldn't have anything to do with human values. My answer is the same. Human beings are all equal, but not the same.
Then you are saying that a child should be treated like a full grown adult?
No, instead of treating the child like an adult or like a child, one must treat him or her like a human being. One interacts with the child with sincerity as another human being, just like oneself.
Let's change the question. All people are equal. They are on the same level playing field. But actually, there is a disparity here, isn't there? Those who move forward are superior, and those who pursue them from behind are inferior. So we end up at the problem of superior and inferior, don't we?
No, we do not. It does not matter if one is trying to walk in front of others or walk behind them. It is as if we are moving through a flat space that has no vertical axis. We do not walk in order to compete with someone. It is in trying to progress past who one is now that there is value.
Have you become free from all forms of competition?
Of course, I do not think about gaining status or honor, and I live my life as an outsider philosopher without any connection whatsoever to worldly competition.
Does that mean that you dropped out of competition, that you somehow accepted defeat?
No, I withdrew from places that are preoccupied with winning and losing. When one is trying to be oneself, competition will inevitably get in the way.
No way. That is a tired out old man's argument. Young folks like me have to pull themselves up by their own bootstraps amid the tension of competition. It is because I don't have a rival running alongside me that I can't outdo myself. What is wrong with the thinking of interpersonal relationships as competitive?
If that rival was someone you could call a comrade, it's possible that it would lead to self improvement. But in many cases, a competitor will not be your comrade.
Meaning what exactly?
You are the only one worrying about your appearance.
Okay, I'm
Let's
just asking.
tie up the loose ends at the outset.
Arti, I think Mansi want to say
Yes,
something.
Mansi.
Asking like, shall we stop here or shall we finish this part? I'll just check how big it is. Yeah, it's not too big.
Yes, we
Okay, let's.
can complete this because leaving it here will leave all of us in midway.
Okay, okay. Let's finish this one part and then stop. Yeah, go on, go on.
Yes, yes. Let's tie up the loose ends at the outset. You express dissatisfaction with Adler's definition that all problems are interpersonal relationship problems, right? That was the basis of our discussion on feelings of inferiority.
Yes, that is correct. The subject of feelings of inferiority was too intense, and I was on the verge of forgetting that point. Why did you bring up the subject in the first place?
It is connected with the subject of competition. Please remember that. If there is competition at the core of person's interpersonal relationship, he will not be able to escape interpersonal relationship problems or escape misfortune.
Why not?
Because at the end of competition, there are winners and losers.
It is perfectly fine to have winners and losers.
Give some thought to it. Then, if it were you specifically who had a consciousness of being in competition with the people around you in your relations with them, you would have no choice but to conscious of victory or defeat. Mr. A got into this famous university. Mr. B found work at that big company, and Mr. C has hooked up with such a nice looking woman, and you will compare yourself to them and think, this is all I have got.
Haha, that is pretty specific.
When one is conscious of competition and victory and defeat, it is inevitable that feelings of inferiority will arise because one is constantly comparing oneself to others and thinking, I beat that person or I lose that person. The inferiority complex and the superiority complex are extensions of that. Now, what kind of being do you think the other person is to you at that point?
I don't know a rival, I guess.
No, not a mere rival. Before you know it, you start to see each and every person, everyone in the whole world as your enemy.
My enemy?
You start to think that people are always looking down on you and treating you with scorn. They are all enemies who must never be underestimated, who lie in wait of any opening and attack at the drop of hat. It in short that the world is terrifying place.
Enemies who must never be underestimated. That is who I am in competition with.
This is what is so terrifying about competition. Even if you are not a loser, even if you are someone who keeps on winning, if you are someone who has placed himself in competition, you will never have a moment of peace. You don't want to be a loser, and you always have to keep on winning if you don't want to be a loser. You can't trust other people. The reason so many people don't really feel happy while they are building up their success in the eyes of society is that they are living in competition, because to them the world is a perilous place that is overflowing with enemies.
I suppose so, but
But do other people actually look at you so much? Are they really watching you around the clock and lying in wait for the perfect moment to attack? It seems rather unlikely. A young friend of mine, when he was a teenager, used to spend a lot of time in front of the mirror arranging his hair. And once, when he was doing that, his grandmother said, you are the only one who's worried how you look. He says that it got a bit easier for him to deal with life after that.
hey, that is a dig at me, isn't it? Sure, maybe I do see the people around me as enemies. I am constantly in fear of being attacked, of the arrows that could come flying at me at any moment. I always think that I am being watched by others, that I am being subjected to harsh judgment, and that I am going to be attacked. And it is probably true that this is a self conscious reaction, just like the mirror obsessed teenager. The people of the world are not paying attention to me. If even if I were to go walking on my hands down the street, they would take no notice. But I don't know. Are you saying, after all, that my feeling of inferiority is something that I chose, that has some sort of goal? That doesn't, that just doesn't make any sense to me.
And why is that?
I have a brother who is 3 years older than I am. He fits the classic image of the big brother. He always does what our parents say. He excels in his studies and in sports, and he is the very picture of diligence. And from the time I was little, I was always compared to him. He is older and more advanced. So, of course, I could never beat him at anything. Our parents didn't care at all about such circumstances and never gave me any sign of recognition. Whatever I did, I got treated like a child, and I was berated at every opportunity and told to be quiet. I learned to keep my feelings to myself. I have lived my life totally steeped in feelings of inferiority, and I had no choice but to be conscious of being in competition with my brother.
I see.
Sometimes I think of it like this: I'm like a gourd that grew without getting enough sun. So it is only natural that I am all twisted up with feelings of inferiority. If there is anyone who could grow straight in such a situation, well, I would love to meet him.
I understand. I really do understand how you feel. Now let's look at competition while taking into consideration your relationship with your brother. If you don't think with a competition orientation with regard to your brother and your other interpersonal relationships, how would people seem to you?
Well, my brother is my brother, and I guess other people are another story.
No, they should become more positive comrades.
Comrades.
Earlier, didn't you say I can't celebrate other people's happiness with all my heart? You think of interpersonal relationship as competition. You perceive other people's happiness as my defeat, and that is why you cannot celebrate it. However, once one is released from the schema of competition, the need to triumph over someone disappears. One is also released from the fear that says, maybe I will lose. And one becomes able to celebrate other people's happiness with all one's heart. One may become able to contribute actively to other people's happiness. The person who always has the will to help another in times of need, that is someone who may properly be called your comrade.
Hmm.
Now we come to the important part. When you are able to truly feel that people are my comrades, your way of looking at the world will change utterly. No longer will you think of the world as a perilous place or be plagued by needless doubts. The world will appear before you as a safe and pleasant place, and your interpersonal relationship problem will decrease dramatically.
What a happy person you are. But you know, that is like a sunflower. It is the reasoning of a sunflower that is bathed in full sunshine every day and is nurtured with ample watering. A gourd grown in the dim shade doesn't do so well.
You are returning to etiology, the attribute of causes again.
Oh, yes, I sure I am.
Raised
Yes, should
by
I read
strict
this?
parents, the
Okay,
youth
okay.
had. Yes, Mansi, you want to read it?
No, I'm not reading it.
Okay. Raised by strict parents, the youth had been oppressed and compared to his elder brother ever since childhood. None of his opinions were ever heard, and he was subjected to the violent words that he was a poor excuse for a little brother. Unable to make friends even at school, he spent time all his free time alone in the library, which became his sole place of refuge. This youth, who had passed his early years in such a way, was truly an inhabitant of etiology. If he had not been raised by those parents, if that elder brother had never existed, and if he had not attended that school, he could have had a brighter life. The youth had been trying to participate in the discussion as cool headedly as possible, but now his many years of pent up feelings came bursting out.
Yeah. Okay. Now the next part starts and we'll take it tomorrow. Okay, we'll open up for discussion. We'll keep it a little short and quick because we are running out of time. We started a little late today, right? Because everyone had to join. So tomorrow we'll start sharp at 7. I request everyone to please join on time so we can start soon and finish faster. So yeah. we can open up for discussion, and please feel free to share your takeaways, insights, anything that you want to share. Please go on.
Mansi, I felt like this when the topic of the brothers were being discussed. I felt like this opened up one more viewpoint of mine as a mother, because I also have two kids, and I was able to feel that how my child is feeling right now when we talk about his sister. So certainly, I will have a very different kind of attitude now, and things will change positively for him.
Yes, no wonder you came in to read today, because I do believe that we all come together for a reason. And
Yes,
so yeah, and this is the point I was also thinking of, like whoever with two kids will resonate and will be a learning for them, this thing today, because what I understand, most of the time na, this feeling of competition and everything that arises in is us is not because we dread or we don't like that particular person whom we are being compared with, but it's because of the society or our parents or our guardians who compare us with them. That is also one thing, like if you reflect back, it's because others who are comparing us with someone else that makes us feel a little bad about that person we are compared to. That's how normally that feeling starts, if you reflect back, if you realize that. So that is what I was thinking, and the superiority inferiority part I was aware of before, but it was a wonderful reminder today. So
yes,
yeah,
I was
it's
also aware of both these inferiority and superiority complexes, as I am already a psychology enthusiast, and I had pursued psychology, but still this viewpoint was little different, and my viewpoint on the relationship of two kids is also different in the terms you are talking. I'm also not even thinking of the comparison made by parents or others. It is how we resonate with whatever is talked about, and how the person compares himself or herself with the other sibling or cousin. Like,
yeah, yeah,
शायद कोई कुछ
mostly
नहीं बोल रहा, nobody is saying anything, but the way
the
people look at us.
yes, the parents का intention हमेशा अच्छा होता है. They are trying to inspire the other kid, but sometimes it ends up a little differently, like subconsciously maybe. Yeah.
नो मीन्स नॉट इवन कंपेयरिंग. क्या होता है कि दो बच्चे अलग अलग टाइम जोन में बॉर्न हुए, तो उनकी स्किल्स भी अलग होते हैं, एंड देयर एबिलिटीज आर डिफरेंट. लाइक usually it happens that the younger one is more smarter and advanced version, we can say. So the elder one feels like मेरे पास में ये quality नहीं है. Subconsciously that thinking comes, even though nobody is comparing. This thinking is inevitable, and it will come because we have a tendency of comparing ourselves to others. That is natural. सो ऐसा
Yeah.
होता है कि जैसे अगर कोई और हमें बेहतर दिख रहा है हमसे, तो हम तुरंत कंपेयर कर लेते हैं अपने आप को. सो नाउ आई हैव समथिंग दैट आई कैन डिलीवर टू माई सन, दैट दिस इज नॉट यू, मीन्स दिस यू कैन अवॉइड, so that he feels better.
Yes, and what I feel na, it's not always about being smarter. Sometimes it's also about being the good person, being the obedient one. So one person, like maybe the elder one, could be the one who follows all the things properly. So that might be a comparison feeling for the younger one. So you never know. Like they might feel that, oh, this is the parents. My parents like him more, love him more. Like, not in your case. I don't know about this, but in general, I'm talking like this happens, right? Like some
True,
everyone
true,
feels,
true, true.
yeah, for different
My
reasons.
younger
Like,
one is too young to think about it, so I'm right now focusing on elder one.
yeah, yeah. So yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you, thank you.
yeah, yeah. Anyone else? What you
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
add?
yeah. Again, my takeaway is that we parents need to be very mindful while doing the parenting, because you never know what your behavior, unconscious or unknowingly, we do behave in such a way that the child is getting is absorbing all that, and it may shape the reality of his or her future. So we need to be very mindful regarding that.
Yes, and I personally can add to this that I am a single child, and my daughter is also a single child. So we don't have like younger older as such in the house itself. But I can tell you that it's not just about siblings. Like it's also about comparison with others, like cousins, friends. So I think it's everywhere in the society. And now with social media and all, I feel कोई और करने की जरूरत भी नहीं है, हम खुद ही खुद को कंपेयर करते रहते हैं. लाइक इट हैपेंस लाइक वेरी नेचुरली एज आरती सेड कि किसी का कुछ दिख गया, समथिंग हैपेंस लाइक समवन शेयर सम फोटोज और समथिंग. This I think if we are very observant about our self talk, that internal dialogue of comparison somewhere pops up, and maybe the conditioning is in rooted in the childhood, but I think that that's all there. Like even if we see a happy photo of someone or something, because nobody shares that is vulnerable, right? Everyone only shares some good things or some glorious things, so that makes us feel that everyone's life is perfect except ours. Like many a times, like not, I'm not saying for everyone in general, but in a general, that's how the illusion is being created because of all these platforms nowadays, and
Yeah,
statuses
very
and all
true.
those.
And even children catch the vibes of the environment also, parents and environment.
Yes,
Sometimes we
and
are not physically behaving, but they catch the vibes also.
yes, yes, very much, very much. And in fact, what I feel is now, because of all this, now the world today is become very difficult to for anyone to be open about their vulnerabilities. And that's
Yeah.
how there is this disconnectedness in the society these days compared to the earlier generations, where people used to just go and they used to understand and reach out for each other's problems and things. Now they have gone down because everyone want to shy down about their problems. They don't want to share their problems because they don't want to seem vulnerable. They all want to show the world that everything is okay, even if it's not. So we find it very uncomfortable, or we don't have that kind of space, I feel, today, and that's really a matter of concern. Like I feel, honestly. So yeah. So anything anyone wants to just share, like, and the superiority inferiority part mentioned today also connects here, that because we feel inferior because of all these comparisons directly happening within us, which we may personally be not be aware of also at times. We try to show only the superior, like we try to show the best. We try to project to the world that everything is just okay, and I am the best, and everything is just going on fine around me or with me. So that's again the superiority inferiority thing that we just read about today. Just could connect it with it. So yeah. Anything anyone want to add, share? Hi Vivek. it, I'm just so happy to see you
Yeah, good morning.
after a
Good
long
morning,
time.
Nancy. Yeah, morning,
Hi
everyone.
Vivek.
I
Yeah, you're not there for the afternoon this thing also, na, these
no, I
days.
enjoyed, enjoyed. Never. No, that's what comparison. I think it's not actually recommended, but we do compare. But what, according to me, like we have to compare with ourselves more than anyone else. Like that's what I think. Like every day we getting a better version of us. So if we are better than yesterday, I think we are better. Like that's what I feel. That is a better comparison. So yeah,
Yes,
I think
yes.
that, instead of comparing with others and social media, I think it never tells the actual truth. Like what you told, like it is giving a different story outside. So yeah, that's what I would like to say. Just
Very true. So I'll just share a personal experience. So what happens now? Like we are basically aware of that. We should not compare. We know the drawbacks of comparison and how that ends up and all of that. So for my daughter, so we never raised any like competition thing for her. Like, but then what we observed as she went to school, she was very casual about everything. So somewhere where she needs to write, or where at least she should feel that okay, my friends are writing, my friends are doing. She's good. Like normally, she's good at things. Like she's good at reading, and she's ahead. In some places, she's in par with. She's not lagging behind in all the areas, but writing, she used to be very lazy initially. When it was just introduced to her, she's just 7 years now. So she was in the first standard and second in beginning, she was just not taking it seriously. So we we found it as a problem. We found it like, okay, so because we are not teaching her comparison or competition, or we are not being very like we are being very casual about it, not comparing her with anything, but that is causing a drawback because she is not caring about it at all. So then what we started doing now, like I don't know how it's working fine so far. At least she's understanding what we try to tell her. But so what we do now, we have created these imaginary characters. So I talk to her in those imaginary characters where I talk to her that I try to compare her with these imaginary characters called Time Pass, Slowy. Like we have named them, and she had seen that movie Inside Out, so she likes all this fun stuff. So we have tried to create that characters, like all the qualities, basically 2 3 qualities that we feel ki these are holding you back. So instead of just to avoid her comparison with her friends, but at the same time also to help her realize that she needs to better herself from what she is doing or she was doing yesterday. She needs to write faster, she needs to do things faster. So we are just trying to help her with that I have created this 2 3 thing. I have created as in we only, like I told her one day something happened. I just told her, tell me what is holding you back, and then we just named them as characters. So there were 2 3 of them, like Slowy, Durkee we called for the fear. Where she is super duper phobic. She has some kind of phobia, or she's super afraid of cutting her nails. So she never used to help me, cooperate with me while cutting her nails. So that was a big, that still is, but it's reduced to quite an extent. But that was a big problem when I had to trim her nails down and things like that. So we had called a character called Darky, who is like the fear. So that is holding you back. Then we talk in terms like, oh, your Durkee is winning over you, over Adya. Durkee is winning over Adya. Slow is winning. Time pass is winning. Things like that. I don't know if that's a little insane, but that's our creative way of dealing with things, and it's helping in certain way. So at least that puts her in that awareness that she has to overcome these things, and it's working for her age as of now. So just sharing, just because I felt it's somewhere relevant.
Mansi, it's completely sane. And as you put up the point for her age, I want to tell you that we all are making all the decisions from the age of 6 or 5. जो हमारी बचपन में जो भी कंडीशनिंग हुई है उसके अकॉर्डिंग ही हम आज के डिसीजंस भी लेते हैं. बस इतना ही है कि हमारा प्री फ्रंटल कॉर्टेक्स थोड़ा डेवलप हो गया है, so we can think a bit more logically. Otherwise we are all the little kids who we were. तो एज अ पेरेंट भी अभी किसी ने बोला था कि वी नीड टू डू कॉन्शियस पेरेंटिंग एंड ऑल, बट what we are doing is actually what we got conditioned to. तो अगर हम नहीं भी चाहेंगे ना, we may get angry, we may say something that is not good, बट वो क्यों हो रहा है? क्योंकि हमारी कंडीशनिंग ऐसी हुई है कि दिस नीड्स टू बी इन सर्टन वे. So first we need to break that conditioning to be a good parent. Actually, our parents were also not the means they are not the culprits, but they were the victims of what they got conditioned to.
Yes, yes, very true. One more point I just remembered over here that we read today about the victimization, right? So he talked about where we just let our what was the word? The our bad stories, right? Our sympathetic stories, like we just overrule them. We just become like a victim, and we just keep dominating people or like scenarios by playing the victim as such, by saying our story, like how bad it is, how we are in the worst situation. So that reminded me. So one of our coach used to say this: don't play the victim card. That was the term he used. So it's basically we always most of us, like we just try to many a times it happens that we just try to be in that victimize ourselves, and in that victim mindset, and we give excuses, right? This is because of this, because of that. So it just reminded me of that. So we just have to get out of that victimization wherever we are playing that in our life. It happens with each one of us. So yeah, that was a reflection.
Mansi, I want to add to it. I also use this term, playing the victim card. So I generally say avoid playing the victim card because, as you said, everyone faces these situations, and we generally play the victim card to protect ourselves or seek some sympathy. But I have also seen people using it overuse of victim card means they are literally dominating other people in the family कि अगर मुझे तो कुछ कहा ना तो मुझे तो नींद नहीं आएगी. I won't be able to sleep and I will trouble all of you. Like that they do to control what they want to do. They will say ये ऐसा करो, you do this way, otherwise I won't be able to sleep and I will trouble all of you. आई वोंट मीन्स अदर या फिर ऐसे भी बोलेंगे कि मतलब दे मेक यू फील गिल्टी कि हमारी वजह से ये परेशान हो जाएंगे. If we are not doing certain way certain things, then this person is going to suffer because of us. So they will make you feel guilty to make their choice of work get done by you and by playing the victim card.
Yes, yes. It's kind of attention seeking, right? Like because
Yes.
again, inferiority and superiority that we read about today. Yeah.
That is, this behavior is also due to the conditioning they had in their childhood and how they see they saw that people around are working well when they are playing this others are playing this victim card, so they use the same strategy and they are doing this unknowingly, unconsciously. उन्हें भी नहीं पता होता है कि वो ऐसा कर रहे हैं.
Yes, yes. Very true.
Yeah, very true. And the examples in the today's chapter itself were given, like wearing rubies and other things, and also shutting oneself in the room. So they are not actually weak, they rule.
Yes, exactly, Suman. And with this, I also got reminded of I'm actually seeing one person who is having the superiority complex, boasting always about the achievements attained in the past, and now feeling worthless that I have nothing to do. So that person is in the superiority complex and doing it more often to boast about all the achievements. So now I have got a new perspective to deal with such people, that how we can help them out.
Yes, true, true. So I'm just taking notes. And anyone wants to share anything, please unmute and speak. I'm just taking notes, so I'll be a little on a silent mode. Anyone wants to add something, or if everyone is done, we can even close the room. That's not a problem. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Arti. Thank you for all your contributions. Yeah. We'll start tomorrow at sharp, and day after tomorrow we'll take a break because it's Ganesh Chaturthi. I won't be available. So I think some others also might have some commitments on that day. So let's better take a break. Maybe 1 or 2 more days. I'll announce it in the group, whatever it is. So, but tomorrow we'll finish with this second night. So we will be in continuation with the third one, like after the break. Like it won't be like in the middle of it. So I think okay then. If we are all done, we can just call it a day, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll start sharp at 7. So try to be on time, everyone. So we get good time to read and discuss. So yeah, thank you. See you all. Take care. Have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Bye bye.